Hello, friends. Welcome to Barn Burner on a Friday.
Jack, you got your shirt on?
That's right. It's a thing, hey?
I'm glad we
I
did.
lost my only Hawaiian shirt.
I'm gonna
my
get
Steelers
you
one.
When's
you
your
get me one?
birthday?
November.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna get you.
Oh,
Okay.
you're what? You're not going to be
You
here?
already got me a shirt. You don't need to get
Are
me a
you
March
leaving?
shirt.
No, I'm not gonna get you one.
Oh, I thought you said I'm not going to be here because I understand.
How's your friend bus? Is it full? Have you shrunk it? What are we going with? Is it a camper van now? Or
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of leg room. It's very regardless of how big the vehicle is.
Yeah.
There's not many in it. It's a comfy place to be. I don't know.
I was thinking about it last night when I was bored sitting in a lacrosse parking lot. It's a long weekend.
Yeah.
I don't have, hey, let's go camping. Hey, let's go to the mountains. Hey, let's
hop on a plane and go to Boston.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not getting bombarded, and I couldn't decide, am I happy or sad about this? Is this,
Yeah.
I've tried to shrink the bus. Now it feels like the bus is real short.
I've shrunk the bus and the bus has just shrunk itself on me. There are, I'm guessing some people that have opted out of the Boomer Friend Club over time.
Well, the fees are astronomical. Inflation.
I went for wings and beers on Wednesday afternoon. And then I was so tired from having like 2 or 3 beer. I said to my wife, like, how do people drink beer in the middle of go for drinks at lunch and then do anything else?
Thank you for answering without me having to ask, because I was going to say, first of all, good for you. And then I was going to say, so you immediately went home and slept? Because if I go have 2 beer and get home,
I almost have to pull over on Deerfoot.
It's over.
Fuck.
Slapping yourself.
Gosh, what time is it? 4:30. Jesus.
I can't make it.
We got a 6 o'clock meeting with somebody. Oh, I don't, you might have to go by yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a very likable guy. There's a lot about me to like.
Well, Jack, got any opinions on that? But
I completely agree.
Yeah,
Jack agrees.
right? But yeah, it's the I've been advised that getting out to be more sociable is probably a good thing.
Oh, it's one of those ones you get the rock once the thing starts rolling, it just keeps.
Yeah, you should just go and do it. And I'm guessing the hope is you go and you do it, be like, see, that wasn't so bad. But every time I do it, it's like, fuck, that was terrible.
Why am I having to do this?
Why do I have to?
And I'm exhausted now.
So tired and drunk and tired.
So I don't know.
No, because now welcome to the show. Bet365, official gaming partner of Barn Burner. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get into the game. Must be 19 or older. It's the draft tonight. There'll be some draft action. If you're looking for it on Bet365, please play responsibly. And sure, we'll sound the horn for the super chat. Proceeds of the super chat go to the youth centers of Calgary. We'll put your comment on the show if you put some money down, and then we'll take that money and get it to the youth centers. Darren Dreger coming up.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's something. Oh, McLeod Law.
Opening.
We'll call these the opening statements for McLeod Law. The opening complaints for McLeod Law. Whatever I would think, and I've not had to go through any of that. Thankfully, when you have to deal with your workplace, if you've been let go, it's like I don't think that was quite right.
I had the big chat yesterday, so
yeah, that's right. McLeod Law, Calgary's best. And not just Calgary's best, but it just happens to be they are the best. They're in our city, and that is awesome. McLeod-law.com. Is it a long weekend? Are people working?
I don't know what the
Monday?
hell's wrong with Canada nowadays. Why the hell can't we add the weekend to the weekend?
Because I know that Pinder declared it.
Oh, well then
a long weekend. Because
I don't think it is a long weekend because Monday's not a holiday.
What do you mean? Pinder said it's a.
Oh, Pinder, yeah.
This is Pinderese.
Well, I think Pinder's kids can't go to camp or something, so it's a day off for everyone, so he can be at home. Yeah, because the first is a Tuesday. So I guess I'm being told. A lot of people, they take the Monday as well to get the old 4-day.
That's a smart thing to do.
And if you took today, you'd have
Yeah, and if you took today
5.
and yesterday,
Oh,
that'd be
That's a weekend.
you got a nice stretch there. So I don't know.
Well, we'll have to call Pinder to find out what's allowed.
Oh, he's watching. He's probably in the chat. He's probably waiting.
yeah, he's waiting to come on the show.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're doing. I think the plan was
I'm
for this
around.
thing
I got
Monday.
so much on the go.
The whole in our old life as hugely successful radio
Massively
personalities,
successful.
we would do well. You wouldn't, but
No, I was done 6 weeks.
yeah, you were done in March.
May
was-
long weekend. How don't you quit May long or just it's May long?
I thought the last go around you kind of even pushed it back.
I did, but I had vacation.
I had
days.
some vacation days, so we were into April.
It was March 17th.
That's right.
It was St. Patty's Day. We got right ripped.
It was St. Patrick's Day.
We were so snot bubbled by
Oh,
7
man.
a.m.
Yeah, I was napping that day. Yeah, that was a nap day. What do you do? Because I know that there are people within the network who are a little disappointed in us that we have not decided we're not doing July 1st coverage.
Oh, we could do July 1st coverage. What the hell difference does it
I mean, yeah, like we could.
But I think sorry, am I stepping on
Well, I was
you?
just when we were doing radio or just mainstream media, say, well, hey, if people are out at the camp spot or they're on the
Trust
boat or they're out they'll have the radio on to hear if the Flames signed Ole Jokinen or whatever the thing was. So, well, okay, I can kind of see that. I still don't really know how this works. How many people watch it live? How many watch it if they're driving somewhere, if they listen on their commute, or how do they take it in? Does it matter if it's live?
Does it matter?
Which is why we kind of defaulted to let July 1st happen. It's a holiday. People are busy. If you have kids or a life, which we're halfway there, you're probably busy doing stuff July 1st. Maybe you're back to work on Wednesday. All right, we'll do a show Wednesday and just wrap the whole thing. We're not really in the breaking news business.
Yeah, but I think that's what they're pissy about. And they don't talk to me that way. They talk to you. But
They don't. They talk to Jack. They
the
don't talk to me.
hoity-toities they would want full coverage. They want you sitting.
They want full
all day. Like
there's people in the network that are in LA where the draft is happening, but there's no teams
for no reason.
So they're there talking to the prospects. There's some stuff being done.
We should have them on. They should be filling us in.
You would think.
So they get mad at us for not doing this stuff, but then they don't pass anything off back to us.
I'm sure if we asked who's there and could they come on,
shit.
I just don't know.
What are we talking about anyway?
Like, do we need to hear about? We'll learn about James Higgins.
Can somebody
and that after
figure out when free agency begins? Like time. I know the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's July 1st. That's Canada Day, Dean. I don't know the time. And Canada Day starts at midnight. So
yeah, it does. Yeah, officially Canada Day starts on the 1st at midnight.
And are we talking
noon Eastern?
So 10 a.m.
Right when we start.
10 a.m. Mountain Time.
That's perfect for us. We'd be like, and they'd be so happy. I don't know.
See,
now I feel like we have to do it. But I don't
see,
like
here's the thing. You've never done one.
Okay.
So I'm going to say is because this is what it was. I would work with Kerr, and Kerr would be so excited. We'd start at about 7:45 for the 10 a.m. show because you need to. We're here. We may as well turn the mics on. At the draft, people would be filing in. The building would be quiet, and we'd be. I think Jay Bowmeister is going to fit in great at the back end. Like we'd be doing that hours before anyone showed up. But so 10 a.m. Get started. All right. Ring the bell. Here's free agency. It's going to be great to see who signs today. It's going to be exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
I've done trade day.
And then you just kind of sit on Twitter.
I don't.
Put dregs on the TV. Is anything happen? Not yet. Well, it's now 10:23, and
yeah, see,
when these start coming in, it's going to be great. You're just keeping balls in the air all day. It's like trade deadline day, except in reverse.
Except I wouldn't treat it as I would just come on and talk BS. I was actually thinking on the way here, if we were coming in Canada today, I was going to make it breakfast sandwich day. And I feel like we have to get some local spots to go buy some breakfast find out what's best.
Mm-hmm.
Remember downtown?
Are they closed
The
on
bacon
July
avocado
1st?
crisp?
Oh, yeah. That would put me to sleep, too.
Ooh, that's hard to beat.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat, right? Like, we got to start doing some of that stuff.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Because I mean, free agency, if somebody signs, awesome. I'm not treating it as free agency insiders hot on the trail of new contracts. It's just another day for me. I just work.
No, I know.
I love working.
So yeah, you do. From a viewer standpoint, if it was July 1st and there
we
are
have
big
viewers
Flames,
or listeners, or we?
Yeah, if you're a big hockey fan, are you going to tune into Friedman, Dreger, or us eating breakfast sandwiches?
I'll tell you this. I will, and I'm quite honest.
Mhm.
Now, I like Biz and Gretz and those guys. I like their coverage of the games. I think Bieksa does a fine job. I've got a great amount of respect for all the folk at Sportsnet. If you put us on during an NHL game, in between periods, I'm tuning into us.
Yes.
So probably we're not. Don't sell yourself short, Dean.
Well,
we would be great at this. They might be phoning us right after, going, "Holy shit! Look at how those guys crushed it."
This is also another one of those scenarios where, if like you had said, you got to sell off for the Flames, you got to trade and get young, and then in the middle of the season, it's you should add some scorers.
Could use a score.
I think the idea of getting together and watching a game during the season has probably come up. And I don't think the response was quite what it is right now.
Well,
we should get together. We'll do a live stream. We'll watch the game. We'll do intermissions.
Never
Yeah, I'm not going with that.
It's not that I wouldn't do it. I'm just very busy.
Yeah.
I got kids all over the place.
So right now you're not busy.
I'm not busy, so I'm all in.
Timing. See, it's all about timing. It's all about timing.
Plus the location of this studio.
It might be my last trip ever to Marta Loop.
Really?
Yeah. There's a parking lot across the street where you're allowed to park,
but
people park.
You had to high jump the fence.
Oh yeah, and then you got to high jump the fence. People park so poorly. There's about 3 spots where a golf cart could fit in right now, but that's about it. And even then, it would be tight. So people don't know how to park. There was no parking to begin. They've now taken the whole block and eliminated the whole one side of the street.
We need sidewalks around.
On the other side, they've built the sidewalk, but made it so wide. They took about 6 spots away for I don't know what reason.
We should get the planners on. Maybe do that July 1st.
It'll be a fist fight. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Because any of those city planners are not going to be willing to go.
So I got to the end of the street and it's like, don't turn right. It's like, I'm turning right. And there's some guy in a truck and he puts his arm out. He's sitting in the truck and he gives just so people could see. He's giving me one of these, waving me.
This is your job. You'd be awesome.
It's like if you can't even stand outside your vehicle to tell me not to come down this. Sorry, Pat. I'm not taking you serious.
I took a wrong turn. But then they didn't have the road closed at the road where they should have.
I know. Yeah.
What
More like Marta poop. Am I right, guys?
So not July 1st?
Well, I don't know. I
do a poll, Jack. Do you know how to do a poll?
Yeah, I do polls all the time.
Polls.
People are going to say yes.
I know they're going to say yes because they don't have to do it.
What do you care if it's Wednesday or Tuesday?
I would be happy
so much on your plate.
I would just like to not talk about hocky for a day or so.
Well, we don't have to talk hockey. If let's make a pact. Because you're always stronger when you're together.
When you're united.
United, we stand.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing comes across the table as far as new signings, when we come on the air, we're not talking hockey. I don't care what we do.
I was just
May long weekend.
Remember we did our trade deadline day show and we had Bonton Food come in.
Yeah.
And then we got full and tired. And then it was just a show of us sitting wearing dumb hats on the couch.
People love that though.
I think they say they love it.
Oh no, they love it.
They're lying.
I don't think they yeah, they're lying. They're full of shit. I think they're probably, look at these guys. This is crazy and different.
Whatever.
And then about 9 minutes in, is this all they're going to do is just kind of sit there?
You know what?
If
you
TV?
Don't want to be here, that's fine. Jack and I are committed to our cause and our trade, and we're going to be here working our asses off trying to make things happen, trying to grow the business.
Growing the business. We'll get you in a suit, Rhett.
Yeah, we'll get all professional.
Mm-hmm. I've learned, listen, in life, I've learned that you don't take on Dreger. You don't do it. You're going to lose.
Double D's.
Don't do it. There's nobody better. And when it comes to trade deadline day or free agency day, I'm a spectator.
Leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
Just sit back and enjoy. Okay.
Insider Hotline, a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. Get 10% off a new air conditioner. Receive 1 year of free preventative maintenance. Whatever it is going on in your home, the heartbeat of your home should be in the hands of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. CrystalClearCalgary.com. TSN Hockey Insider, our buddy. We're trying to decide in this podcasting world, should we be doing a show July 1st? The last couple of years, we've come on the 2nd and just wrapped everything up and gave our sizzling hot takes and our
expert
our well-respected opinions kind of thing. But there's some thought, well, we should be doing, everybody else in the network is doing a show on July 1st and we're being frowned upon. So I don't know. You're working July 1st.
Yeah.
That means I shouldn't be.
I don't know. I mean, when it comes to the analysis of, the Calgary Flames, just Alberta in general, Western Canada in general, the Western Conference, I think hockey fans respect and want your opinion and your analysis. So I'm not trying to get Rhett to work or Pinder or yourself, Boomer. I'm just saying that there'd be a market for you guys. It's not always about the breaking news. There's often a surprise signing here or there. And, whether it's a hot take or just a good old fashioned hockey opinion, the people want it. They want it, especially from you guys. What is that cackling in the back?
Quite a load of shit.
Cut that clip, Jack. Let's get that out.
Almost pulled it off, Dregs. You almost got all the way through it without breaking up. That's why you're a pro. All right, people are already in the chat. Would you stop? Just ask. You get Dreger on. Don't waste it. What's going on? Noah Dobson. Is a trade imminent? Would you classify it as that?
I would classify it as imminent, and I hate that word in my business because it just sets you up for failure, right? When it doesn't happen. But there's been enough contract back and forth between management of the New York Islanders and the agent for Noah Dobson to know that, look, the long term, let's give this kid the benefit of the doubt. He wants to win. He wants to go to a place where he feels that he can win sooner rather than later. And even though he's a young guy and he doesn't have full contract control, even the restricted free agent guys, right? The guys coming out of entry-level contracts now have more swagger than they've ever had before. So he's a young defenseman who wants to win. So I think that's definitely fueled Matthew Darch, the GM of the Islanders, search into, all right, well, let's make a fair comparison here. Is it worth me biting down, holding on to this kid and trying to convince him to extend? Or am I better to embrace everything about the market around these young defense? And that's what it looks like the Islanders are doing. So as Chris Johnson reported, and we've collectively been working on this for the last several hours, it really is down to a 2-horse race. And that's the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, until the deal is done, I guess you can allow for somebody to come in late. But for Dobson, even though he doesn't have control of the process other than accepting an extension versus saying, no, I'm not going to extend if traded there, I believe strongly that, he'd like to play in Montreal. Doesn't mean he's going to end up in Montreal. Again, it's Montreal and Columbus, but based on where the discussions have been, the negotiations to this point, I'd be surprised if something doesn't get done either today or tomorrow.
If you're Columbus and I'm guessing they know what you just said, like he would prefer to go to Montreal. Does that make you less inclined to try and get him, or do you just believe in yourselves and what you're trying to do?
Well, you know what? I'm just going to clarify something here. I don't know that he doesn't want to go to Columbus. So when I say that, Montreal is a team that he would like to play for, that's in the bigger picture. Okay. So, now that it's down to 2, I'm not gonna paint this illusion that no, he's choosing Montreal over Columbus. I think those are the two best deals, and I think that Noah Dobson loves the idea of playing in a real rabid Canadian environment, right? And not everybody does. You guys know that. Not everybody does, especially as a young defenseman. You know, you can either flourish in that environment or it can go sideways in a hurry, and then all of a sudden you're in one. So, but I know the ask for Noah Dobson was extreme. So I don't know what that looks like from either Columbus Blue Jackets or the Montreal Canadiens. You would think that a young defenseman is likely going to have to go back the other way. You would think that Matthew Darche would want that. And that's the one thing that the Montreal Canadiens do have in abundance, right? I don't think they love the idea of giving up on Logan Mailloux. I'd be surprised if Darche isn't asking for him as part of this package. So let's see how it plays out. There was still some work to do an hour or so ago when Chris Johnson put out his story in The Athletic and on X. So, but to answer your question from a couple of minutes ago, I would say it is imminent. And now we're going to flip the switch because my phone is ticking here as we talk. And Bo Byram is the other piece in this equation, right? And then Rasmus Andersson would be another one who I know you guys are going to want to talk about. But you know, there's a strong push on Bo Byram by a number of teams. The Vancouver Canucks most definitely in that mix. And Vancouver has been after Bo Byram and Buffalo probably the longest of any of the teams involved in this process. LA has been trying, you know, Kenny Holland, of course, now the GM there, and LA has a real need for another kind of power play quarterback defenseman. You know, it's not Doughty. They'll go with 5 forwards on that power play, right, in LA. Yeah. So that would be a good fit for Byram, both from a team perspective and for a player. Yeah, so it's primarily Vancouver, Vegas, and LA on Bo Byram. But again, Buffalo got their right shot defenseman in making the JJ Peterka trade. And that's how I felt like that would open things up a little bit more for Byram, because the original need as part of a Byram trade was getting a right shot D-man back. And teams were apprehensive. Nobody wants to give up a decent right shot guy because then you're looking for that player. So we'll see how it plays out. But Vancouver Canucks are making a push here.
That's an interesting one. It's because you look at the Islanders. Well, you've got the first overall pick. So are you rebuilding? Well, a 25-year-old D can fit into that. It just feels like there'd be a few of these teams, and maybe Vancouver's one, certainly Calgary's one. They're at a fork in the road, and it feels like something like that can kind of push them down one of those lanes. Yeah, like an Andersson deal here or a Dobson deal. I'm not sure about Vancouver, and we don't need to shovel more dirt on Buffalo because God knows they got some. But what did you make of the reports yesterday? It's like, well, we offered Rossi, and we offered 2 picks, and we offered. It's like there's an attempt to make Kevin Adams and the Sabres look bad. What did you make of the trade as far as just the hockey trade, and then the fallout? Well, we offered our first. Minnesota, we offered a first, and they said no. It was kind of odd to see that.
Yeah, a little bit. And look, it's not unusual, Boomer, as you know, for stories like that to surface after a good young player has been traded, because there wouldn't be any general manager involved in a trade negotiation, in this case with Kevin Adams on JJ Peterka, that didn't feel like their deal offered was better. Well, look, I mean, the fit for the Buffalo Sabres in getting Mike Kesselring from Utah and Josh Doan on top, that was a better one, right? Again, they got the right shot defenseman that they wanted. I mean, this guy's a big physical dude at 6'5", so they'll have a little bit more pushback in their lineup, and they get some of that as well in Doan up front. So you're not replacing the right side that JJ Peterka played on the Buffalo Sabres with Josh Doan. I don't think so anyway. He looks like a bottom 6, but maybe he can play his way into a top 6. But, you know, Buffalo did not want to trade JJ Peterka. Every time I had the exchange with Kevin Adams, because there was speculating reporting that Peterka was in play, Peterka isn't happy, Peterka isn't going to extend long term, all of that, the response was always the same out of Buffalo. they do not want to trade JJ Peterka. So I guess they got to a point where they believed that the player wasn't happy and the player wasn't going to extend, and his best value trade-wise was right now. So I don't know across the board what was available, but from a hockey standpoint, I think Buffalo did fine here because they ticked 2 big boxes of need.
Yeah, and until they turn a corner, we've just spent time in Buffalo, and we don't need to spend more time talking about the Sabres, but until they start doing a bit of winning, it's just going to be, nothing's going to be right for them. So
we don't need to pile
on. The chat is obviously, they want me to ask about Darnell Nurse. We can start with Evander Kane. It does feel like Stan Bowman took all the money. You got somewhat of I would think, a character out of the room you're wanting to get out of the room. So that's a win-win in a lot of ways. Is there anything to Darnell Nurse trade rumors? I guess you can talk with anybody about anything, but what kind of substance is there?
No, zero. Yeah. No, and I don't think you would mind me I don't normally out my sources. In this case, Stan Bowman just said there's nothing to this. It's just a wild time of year. Darnell Nurse is a big part of this team's success to this point and moving forward. And there's nothing more of that. They don't have any interest in trading Darnell Nurse. I mean, the reason it makes some sense is because we can obviously see some of the holes throughout that lineup. And you've got Evan Bouchard, who's in need of contract extension. And the numbers speculated are somewhere between $10.5 and $11 million per, right? So now you've got $20 million committed to 2 defensemen in Nurse and in Evan Bouchard. So I think it's just the mathematics which fuels the speculation behind this. As for Evander Kane, I mean, this guy's going to get sand kicked on him until his career is over. And some of that is earned because of his reputation, because of some of the stuff that he's done across the league. But I think for the most part, he was a model citizen in Edmonton. And when he was healthy enough to contribute, and he did up to the Stanley Cup final, I thought that he was an effectful player. Sure, I do. Yeah. I mean, first 3 rounds, he provided that element of speed. He generated some offense. He was physical. The verbal jousting was next level, according to the National Hockey League, from him and others. But just flat out, hold on a second.
Not Ray Ferraro, a cohort of yours who, spent some time between benches and maybe hears some of that stuff. I shouldn't have brought up his name. I feel bad. I take it back.
No, it wasn't Ray.
Okay.
It wasn't. But it reached a point between those 2 clubs in the Stanley Cup final where I think the league had to say to the coaches, all right, enough.
That's right. Yeah.
Enough's enough. Let's pause it out here a little, fellas, because somebody's going to get caught on camera, and it's going to be, or on mic, a hot mic.
Yeah, between Marchand and Chuck and Kane and Corey Perry.
You can look good on anyone or anyone involved in this Stanley Cup final. It's going to get a twisted. Everyone will be commenting on that instead of the hockey.
Yeah. No, I feel for the people like you, Dregs, and you got to sift through all of this stuff, because as soon as I saw Darnell Nurse, stuff, it's 9.25. Really? How? Okay. Yeah. Well, and I guess for you kind of have to. Do you have to go down all those paths, or do you use your own intuition and think it's horse shit, or what do you do there?
Well, both, right? And I outed my source immediately only because I know that if it's wrong, he would want that corrected on record and publicly. That's where you start. When you get, a rumor of that magnitude, you start at the top of the food chain. Yeah. And if you don't get an answer back, well, then you start sifting around and you go to the agent and all of that kind of stuff. So I get it. Look, and I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be checking in on all things being speculated this time of year. That's where we're at. I mean, we're going into round 1 of the NHL draft. We've seen some significant trades to this point. Undoubtedly, we're going to see more as today unfolds. And if not today, then certainly Saturday, tomorrow. I mean, the draft on Saturday is always a breeding ground for significant trades. And then you've got free agency around the corner. So, there are bad rumors, the odd bad scoop here or there, but that's what social media is. That's what we do in media in general. But whenever possible, you obviously have to sort through it, sift through it, and verify.
Does Byram and Dobson help, hinder, change Rasmus Andersson and Craig Conroy's position at all?
Well, I think it helps in the sense that you clearly have a market on good defense right now, right? So as soon as Dobson goes, all right, well, one team is getting him, the rest aren't. So if you're St. Louis had interest in Noah Dobson, and that's where all of that speculating around Jordan Kyrou comes from. I think St. Louis has some interest in Bo Byram. Why wouldn't they, right? But in Rasmus Andersson, I think sure St. Louis would like to get in on him too. But my understanding is that St. Louis is on his no-fly zone. So if they can, find the right offer, and so far there's been lots of tire kicking on Rasmus Andersson, tons of it, lots of it. Vegas absolutely would like Rasmus Andersson. But there hasn't been an offer made to Craig Conroy as we're having this conversation that's close to making that move. And they keep reminding us over and over and over again in Calgary, look, we can start the season with Rasmus Andersson. That's not a big deal. It's not like we're at a disadvantage going into the year. And then what does a package for Rasmus Andersson look like? What would be acceptable? And I'm asking you guys too, because it has to be something that helps you build your future. So are we talking about draft picks? Are we talking prospects? It feels like the market needs a little bit more than that, in my opinion. So maybe that's what Connie's waiting for.
The question that we always fight about and debate about with the Flames is that I'm not convinced I'm sure Conroy has an opinion and wants to take things in a certain direction, but I'm not sure they're all sold on one direction or the other. And to me, they feel like they're a little bit, and the term soft rebuild to me just means you're not sure which way to go. And that's, and I think that's part of the hindrance.
Yeah.
Right. Like, are we getting you? Sure. If it's a great trade, it's a great trade. There's great hockey trades and you just make them.
Yeah. And if that's true, Rut, and I don't know that it is entirely, it certainly has, the hinting, the signs of that approach. That could be a dangerous game because you're always spinning your tires. You're always just hoping, right? One of your draft picks is going to click, or a young player that you acquired somehow is just going to take off, and nobody expected that to happen. It starts with ownership, right? I look at the Montreal Canadiens. The Montreal Canadiens, for me, for the most part, have gone through their rebuild process the right way. Ottawa took a little bit longer. But I mean, previous ownership just had a certain way of doing things. And I think that there were some mistakes that were made along that road. But again, it's not easy. And you do get to a place as an owner where you're, all right, the rebuild's over here. We're 5 years into this thing. The drafting and developing, it's great, but these players have to push us towards playoff contention. So I get it. Now I think also of another Canadian team. The reason the Winnipeg Jets didn't cut bait when they were thinking of doing it prior to extending Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuck was because Mark Chipman, part owner of the Winnipeg Jets, did his due diligence. He talked to the people in Detroit, and the Red Wings are still in a rebuild. And like it takes 7, 8, 9 years in certain cases. The Winnipeg Jets couldn't sustain that. No way. And then they were fortunate that Hellebuck and Scheifele said, no, we're in. We're in. If you want to build a contending team, we'll help you do that. And away they go. So that also kind of muddies that prospect when you're looking at a rebuild or a soft rebuild, renovation, retool, call it whatever you want.
You mentioned Winnipeg. I know you had talked about a potential replacement if, in fact, and it looks like Nikolai Ehlers goes to market. And he's an odd one. I think he's going to be very sought after July 1st. He's also injured a lot. But Winnipeg, they need guys that want to be there or that will be there. Interesting spot for them on July 1. Ehlers may circle back around, but what are some potential replacements, or do they look to even replace that on July 1?
Just hold on a sec here.
Oh. See, this is why we got to be
Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for home comfort.
That's why we're going to be here July 1st.
So, yeah, I just tweeted real quick here, but the John Tavares extension is done in Toronto.
Gotcha.
I just need years in AAV. That's kind of day. See, there you go. There's a front row seat to the world that I live in.
That's it. Yeah.
Minute by minute basis.
And nothing you'd rather be doing than talking to
no,
couple donkeys in Calgary.
But so that's a key signing by the Leafs. I mean, an obvious one, right? We all expected it would get done. So we'll wait on the AAV and what the term is. I suspect the term is going to be longer than what Brad Treliving and the Maple Leafs were comfortable with. But the guy scored 38 times last year. And if Marner is leaving, how do you fill the two massive holes there, right? Yeah. I mean, how? You don't. So you have to bite it and you sign John Tavares and you hope for the best that he's got at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, which is a stretch because now you're drifting into his 40s. So that seems unlikely. But I do want to answer your question on Ehlers because I know you asked that. And much was made of the reporting that, okay, well, Ehlers is going to market. Guys, we're days away from July 1st. Like if Nikolai Ehlers was going to extend with the Winnipeg Jets, he would have done it well in advance of now or July 1st. Doesn't mean that he's closed the door on Winnipeg, right? Yeah. But when you're that close as a free agent, you've earned your right to look at what the market is going to show you. Educate yourself. That doesn't slam the door on Chevy. He can call on July 1st or after July 1st, doesn't matter. But I look at some of the teams that I know need that type of player. For me, the Carolina Hurricanes kind of jump off the mat in terms of where he'd be a good fit, solid defensively, skates like the wind, like a Rod Brind'Amour type of player. But Winnipeg is going to stay in on Nikolai Ehlers until he signs somewhere else.
Yeah. I guess like we've talked about Andersson, and Conroy talked yesterday, and it's interesting. He's going to be a Calgary Flame, and he'll play well because it's a contract year, and he wants to make the Olympics and all of that. But there was never any inclination that, and who knows, we might strike up a deal. It just seems
hold on.
Okay,
4 years at 4.38.
That's great for Toronto, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it, 38 goals, and
it felt like
veteran leadership and wants to be there. And
if you can get under 5, it felt like that was, going free a little bit. Those kind of milestones. I just, if it starts with a 5 or a 4, even if it's 4.95, those little things kind of matter. So to get into the 4s, you throw the extra year, and he's also good or bad. He did it with Tanev, and he'll do it probably till he's done GMing. If it takes an extra year, then you worry about that year down the road just to kind of get it in. So that's a hometown discount for Tavares there.
It is. And see, hey, like we've still got some time here left, but I think we should revisit how we started the segment. And you guys are talking about whether you should have a show on July 1st. See, this kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff that happens on July 1st.
Listen to
where the stuff is happening on the fly.
Yeah, but this is one less guy available now on July 1st.
That's a very solid point by you. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, with Andersson, I just my take was put your foot down and say, listen, we're trading Rasmus Andersson. Yeah. All you teams you haven't spent your July 1 money. You haven't spent any picks at the draft yet. He's moving. We're good, but this is happening sooner than later. And now it's he can come in and he's going to be a Flame. And I talked to Rasmus, and he'll be a good. Well, of course he will. He'll be a good pro. But how much for what? To what end is the deal going to be twice as good in January or February or at trade deadline? I just don't know.
I don't think it will be. I love I can appreciate why management and the Calgary Flames would think that way. But even though the cap is going up, I'm also always reminded that offseason is about cap flexibility. There's more dollars in the market, right? So this isn't just about acquiring the player. You're going to want to talk to the agent, and you're going to want to try and get something done. That gets way more complicated once the season starts. And then you get even more complications as you get closer to the trade deadline. So, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, somebody's got to step up to the table, repeating myself here. If Calgary had a deal that made sense, Greg Conroy would make the deal. Somebody's got to find a way to acquire a really good player. And I'm sure that there are managers out there who feel like they've done that, who feel like they presented the best offer that they think that Craig Conroy and the Calgary Flames are going to get. Well, that's obviously not true. But maybe the position of the Flames changes once we see Dobson go. And then you see what happens with Bo Byram. Those two guys come off the market, and then I think that things shift a little bit in favor of Calgary and what that return should be.
Yeah. Another name there is the Aaron Ekblad. What's your sense there? I think we all kind of feel like Bennett stays, and pretty good chance that Marchand stays, but Ekblad seems to kind of be the wild card there. What's your vibe on what Florida's got going here?
Yeah, look, I mean, Billy Zito is going to try. He's hopeful of keeping all three. It's not unlimited money. It isn't. Again, the cap's going up. But both Marchand and Bennett are going to get long term, especially if Marchand is staying with the Florida Panthers. I mean, he deserves to make his taste of money here, as Matthew Tkachuk reminded us after the Stanley Cup. It's more likely that Ekblad is going to be the odd man out here, but there's a market for Aaron Ekblad, clearly. Could Toronto be a fit? Maybe, not unlimited resource in Toronto either. I keep hearing Utah, guys. I keep hearing Utah. Utah is a team that very much wants to make a splash. And I would argue they've already done that, but they're not done. And they want to address whatever concerns they have on that blue line. So, Aaron Ekblad he's going to get paid, whether that's in Florida or somewhere else.
Dallas, Jim Nill needs a coach, and he's got a lot on his plate. Jason Robertson, just because the Flames in Dallas have made a trade for a D. It seems like Rasmus would be a great fit in Dallas, but there's not a lot of money and there's a lot going on. Not specifically on that, but I guess Robertson and where Dallas is headed. Yeah.
Well, it's a tricky one to try and renovate that roster in Dallas. I mean, they extend Jamie Benn creatively on a 1-year deal that's bonus laden, so no shock there. They get Matt Duchene done. They want to do that. Fair deal for both the player and the club. The Jason Robertson rumor for me has been out there mostly because of the interest that has been attached to Mitch Marner and the possibility of Marner going to the Dallas Stars. And I wouldn't say that is unfounded. I think for sure Dallas would have interest in Marner. And in fact, I'm reminded of a rumor that kind of surfaced around midseason, maybe a little bit beyond that, second half of the year, where it was believed Toronto was having conversations with the likes of Vegas and maybe Dallas, two top teams at that point in the West outside of Winnipeg. And obviously Marner wasn't going there. But, what would a trade look like? In season to make a deal of that magnitude rips apart your club. So I don't think that it was ever seriously considered by Toronto or Vegas or Dallas at that point. But if you're willing to have a Marner conversation, if your ownership and management of the Dallas Stars, then that has to be at the expense of Jason Robertson. And they like Jason Robertson. They do. And the market for Jason Robertson, he's a scorer. When he's healthy, this guy can flat out put the puck in the net. So it would be high, but I feel like there's a bit of a waiting out process before they get to that point. There has to be that conversation. Okay, do we honestly feel like there is a market for Marner? Everybody keeps looking at Vegas. Well, it can't be Vegas today or it's tampering. So if Marner hasn't signed in Vegas July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all right, if you're Dallas, maybe you do try and take a swing because moving Jason Robertson isn't going to be a challenge. There'd be a ton of interest in him.
Dallas is interesting to me because they've been good.
Yeah.
And is this the San Jose scenario where you just, but then you hear, we got to make changes. We're up against, can't he just be patient for a while? Jim Nill, as good as Rasmus Andersson might look in a Stars jersey, and as much as he might help, they went to the semifinals. They didn't play well, I didn't think.
Right.
They're going to make a change at coaching. these guys aren't falling off the map if they don't go and make a change or sign a free agent. Like,
but you know what, Rhett? They were pissed that they weren't in the Stanley Cup final. They really felt like, even though they obviously didn't prove it against the Oilers, they were the better team and felt like they would have been better prepared to give the Panthers a run. I'm not so sure of that. Ottinger wasn't as good as he needed to be. You had the drama, of course, with Pete DeBoer, who's no longer with the organization. Some of their younger guys just weren't able to find their legs, like Wyatt Johnson, who, in my opinion, is
from
a
injuries
star.
too.
Sure. I'm with you. I don't see a lot wrong in the Dallas Stars. I don't. So, to get Rasmus Andersson, man, you're blowing it up to a point. Like, what are you giving up? You're giving up a young player or a decent prospect, and the Dallas organization does have good young prospects, both at the NHL level and developing. But is it worth that? I didn't think their blue line was really that bad. I mean, It was unhealthy, to your point, but you
think back, it's just got to be for Jim Nill and even ownership, because it was in the bubble, with Corey Perry, and they go all the way, and then 3 consecutive semifinals and all of that. But I'm with you.
But one team wins, and I don't think it's. Drake's made the best point, is that, are you going to blow up? You're going to make major changes in the offseason because I don't know.
There's a tipping point where you
can just wait. And plus, if you roll that team out there again, and they're going to get home ice throughout the playoffs, you can wait till the trade deadline to decide what you need to do. It's not like you're going to be on the outside looking in if you don't make a move this offseason.
Yeah, and let's find out who the coach is, right? If they promote Neil Graham, who's the head coach of the Texas Stars, the American League team, well, that's a pretty easy transition. It is, and Glenn Gulletson is right there. I wouldn't be surprised if Gully's the guy that actually gets the job back in Dallas. But either way, you got to allow that coach to have some influence into the direction that you need to go. Let him work with the players that you have, especially your younger guys, before you start pulling it apart. So I think that's the smarter play. And look, I mean, none of us should be advising Jim Nill. This guy has been around a long time and won more than we would win in 10 lifetimes, but I'm sure he's got it figured out, and he definitely will not do anything knee-jerk.
Well, we'll do a show for him if he wants to listen.
If he wants to learn a thing or two. We'll let you get to it. I know that Gary's talking and Tavares is signed, so you got a lot on your plate. We'll talk to you next week with Thursday Works.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we're good for Thursday.
Awesome. Thanks Dregs.
Hey, boys. Have a good one.
There you go. Darren Dreger on a massively busy day for him on the Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating Insider Hotline, crystalclearcalgary.com. Call 403-219-4100. There you go.
Great job, Dean.
Insider. Hey, breaking the news. We got the Tavares thing. Whew. Good thing we were doing a show for that Tavares breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Well, and that basketball guy left in Toronto too.
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's next. We'll get to the NBA portion of the show coming up here shortly. What did you? We can talk about Rasmus. I'm guessing you didn't really. Did you see what Craig?
I didn't see anything.
Okay,
fill me in. What's different this week than last week?
You know what? He spoke yesterday. I watched it, and I was going to grab clips. It's GM talk. It's the new Connie. He used to be able to, maybe if he was sitting here, you'd be able to kind of get through and kind of pull something out.
Trust those dusters.
No, he's getting better at it. I mean, the one thing that I took away from it, if you want something that he didn't say, but you kind of, he's a Calgary Flame, and he's fine to come and be here, and he's I don't doubt his compete, and he wants to be on the Olympic team and all. Yeah, but there was never and hey, who knows, maybe we get a deal done. There was never really that indication. It was he'll come and be a good pro until the trade happens. So this is a player that's going to be dealt, which again, if there's no deals on the table that you like, you don't trade him just to trade him. But I would sure be more comfortable if I were Conroy. I would try and be putting a little bit more pressure on other teams, and maybe that happens after July 1. But again, it just, gosh, we spent our money. We've spent our draft picks. It just feels like you're too late.
There's always draft picks, and if you don't get draft picks this year, there's next year, and there's the year after. So there's always a new crop of draft picks.
Yeah.
I worry that it's Scheifele, and I know the Rasmus's not Scheifele, and he's not who's the goalie? Jesus, Winnipeg.
Hellebuck.
What I'm trying to get at is, here's a guy that's been here a decade or however long it is. He's looking for something new. My concern is that the Flames need to treat this, maybe should treat this a little bit like Winnipeg, where it's like, you better hang on to your guys because they're not easy to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I've said trade them, and I've said rebuild, and I've said all that. But then there's the other side. When you hear the Winnipeg thing, you see the Buffalo thing, all the guys want, the tendencies, Hannafin, Lindholm, Zadorov to a certain extent. Now Anderson, Gaudreau, Kachuk.
Yeah.
That's a lot of talent that has said, yeah, no thanks.
And the thing with this one
I'm
is
not shit talking the team or the city or the facilities, or everybody's leaving. Nobody's sprinting to come this way. And I'm fine with them trading Anderson. Get something in return and get some guys locked in here, because we need guys that want to be here and are going to make a difference. And I think he's done a good job of that. I don't begrudge him if he wants out. But everyone wants we get caught up in our own stuff, and we look at Buffalo and we go, look at those losers. Hey, everyone's leaving. Look at all the guys that got rid of. How's our squad?
The thing about this one that I think has people most horny, I guess, for a deal. It's not a great word, but does the player want out? No. It's with this one, it's age. His contract is expiring, but it's the AAV that's okay. So his cap hit is this. Why is because everybody thinks you're going to get a massive return, which is why you don't want to trade the player or the person. It's just, okay, he's got an expiring contract. But in this case, more so than Hannafin or Tanev or any of those other guys, we're assuming that the return should be much greater because of the lower cap hit. But if that's not being reflected in trade offers, then all of a sudden, not to say you sign the player to an 8-year extension just because, but as much as I sit here and tell you, move them, get them done, if teams are looking at it and say, well, are you going to eat any more money? It's, well, no, I'm not eating. It's already $4.5 million. If it's not translating in offers, that to me changes the whole urgency of it. Not so much that, well, I better wait because the offers will be better. It's just you're hoping maybe they'll be better come trade deadline or into January or whatever.
I guess the issue when I'm as you're talking, I'm
making a lot of good points.
You are, and I'm playing out different scenarios in my head, and I go back to what I said to Dregs and I've said to other guys, and it's what I believe, and I could be an idiot. I clearly most likely am. I don't know what direction this team's going. All right, you move Rasmus Andersson. You expect the return to be massive. Noah Dobson's 25, and he's telling the Islanders, I want out, and they're having to move him. So now you're assuming that you're going to get a player that you're going to keep, and he's going to want to be a long-term part of your plan, and he's going to be a difference maker moving down the road, except that's not how the world is nowadays. You've got a guy that's been here, being a good soul, and I'm arguing to keep him, because the other side of the argument that Pinder will yell at you is, well, he's going to make too much. Well, we have millions and millions in cap space. The cap is going up. His percentage of cap is going to drop.
Yeah, I don't know from his vantage and from that side. And I think we're all on both sides. It's not so much that he's going to make too much. It's just what is he going to look like in 3 years from now when you're hoping that
it's the same
team starts to turn the corner?
Same scenario for everyone. And what we do when you're caught up in a market is go, oh, he's going to be great. And he's going to get a lot of money somewhere else and it's going to go well. Well, why it can't happen here? Like, it's like if he goes and plays in Dallas and signs a new contract because it gets his 8.5 or whatever the number is, are they idiots? Are they idiots? No, I'm serious, because we're not. We're clearly smarter than you, because we're not going to sign him because he's going to be shitty in 4 years. Well,
yeah, I like a lot of what this player is about, and I've said it before. I think he truly does play for that crest on the front. When it's
plays for
Calgary versus Edmonton, he feels it. He hates the opponent. I think what it is this perceived massive return, a first and kind of a thing. Okay, well, if it's there, then
not Eric Lindros.
Then you trade him. But I don't know. We not that you were going to keep Tanev, but we were a little. The Lindholm deal was the one where you got a first rounder, a prospect, a player. That was that whole package that we always talk about. And we'll see what Brustevich is, and obviously we know what Kuzmenko did and then left, and the draft pick. But it's the way, the style of the player. How will he age? And can you get a lot for him?
And you have to manage your team differently than if you're Vegas. I'm sorry. That's just the effing truth. You don't get the luxury of letting a guy go. Winnipeg is a great example. We've got Hellebuck. We've got Scheifele. Yep, they're making a ton of money. You know what? We better sign them. We can't let guys just always F off because the pasture's green or somewhere up. Like, where are you going to fill the voids?
How do we feel about Rasmus Andersson if he's not on a 4.5? What if now he is a $9 million player?
But this is the question I'm saying to you, is that why does everyone else want him? If he's no good at 8.
Well, and I don't think that's it, though. Is because we say this too.
So because we had him at 4.5, which is one hell of a deal for what he's done for your team, he's not going to get what he's worth?
No, absolutely. All I'm saying is, are you at risk here of maybe overvaluing what he is because he's been cheaper? So Rasmus is this and he's that. He was a minus 100 this year. It was not a good year for him in some respects. He stayed healthy.
But then the rest of the league knows it and is saying to you that I'm not giving, then your return isn't what you expected. You know what I mean? That's the problem, is that we have these assumptions that we're smart enough to see all the different angles of this. It's like, well, if he isn't as good as we assume, then 4.5 isn't as cheap as we assume.
Right.
Hence, your return isn't as good as we assume.
And is that how you end up where we are? Where there isn't a deal, and
and that's where I think you end up. What Drake said is that when you don't have clarity of direction, you're in a tough spot.
And as the GM, you're not going to want to make a trade where you feel like the return is light, because then you're going to get crushed by people for it.
The reason to make a trade with Rasmus Andersson is because you're getting a really good return. If it's not there, you should sign him and stop worrying about it.
There's a lot of people that do feel that way. And I go back and forth, and like I say, I like the player and what he brings. And if I'm not trading him just to trade him, but I don't want to lose him for nothing. I don't think you will.
You're going to end up in the same scenario where, okay, so you trade him and you get a really nice return. And those players all turn out and everybody's happy. The team that traded for him got a good player and we got good stuff in return. And then in 3 or 4 years, you're going to need a right shot defenseman to chew up some minutes. Oh, well, he was going to be old. Well, these guys take care of themselves pretty good. Mm-hmm. They're not all. Giordano played a hell of a long time. Like it's not. And are you hanging on all pieces that you think are going to come in and fill his void?
Yeah.
All those picks you're going to get. We give Pinder shit all the time. I don't know. Are we excited? It's a cheap shot, but are we excited about Honzek?
We talked about it yesterday. And again, it's a cheap shot. If you had 3 first rounders tonight, you'd feel like this is awesome. We're into the rebuild. you drafted Emile Poirier, Morgan Klimchuk, and Sean Monahan. And Monahan was a very good draft.
Hell of
pick.
a player.
The other two barely, they had no impact in your franchise. So it's like everything in the world. If it goes well, good
Brilliant.
job. If it doesn't go well, you're stupid. And why would you do it? You don't know what you're doing.
And what direction is this team going? Are all the brilliant listeners out there, do they have it? What direction is it? Are we all okay with this soft rebuild? Is that what they refer to it as?
I don't know. I don't know what they refer to it as.
Well, whatever they are.
Because you could say, okay, we're going full-blown rebuild. I
And then
think
you
Coleman
run it.
has a no trade.
Yeah, but he'd move his at.
Like
I don't. The no
How
trades are a zero issue.
but how deep can you? So you trade Kadri, Coleman, Anderson. There's no guarantee, and I'm not saying this is why you keep them, but even still, so you get some draft picks and some younger players. Okay, well, we're worse, and our own pick will probably be higher. But have we clearly taken steps to being better in 3 years? Not necessarily.
No,
which
but
is
at
not an
least you've
argument to
got-
keep them. But
At least you've got clarity of purpose and direction and
Sure.
a plan. Right now, I don't, and it's not a criticism of Craig. It's a recognition of when I look at that lineup and where they finished last year, and who's coaching, and who's running things, and their drafts, and who's moving up the ladder. I don't know what they're doing, and it's a confusing thing because are you going to be better next year? I don't think you are. I think you hit on all. I guess Sharon Govish wasn't that good and they couldn't score, but I don't think the scoring is going to be better next year. Is Wolf going to be as good? It's possible he's as good or better. The point I'm making is that you're going to be stuck in the muddy middle again.
Yeah.
By looking at all the things the Flames have, where they're at, the other teams, to me, it feels mucky middle. And there's no clear path to what you're trying. You're not going out. You can't go out and sign Marner. So who's the hottest free agent? Marner? I don't even want him on my team, but sure, Marner's the big. Is he on our list of teams to talk to?
no.
Not even close. John Tavares doesn't resign in Toronto. Is he coming to Calgary?
No.
So what are you going to do you have to make moves? Well, Jim Drake Nil does a hell of a job. There's some real successful GMs out there, but do all of them hit home runs and all the
There's some pretty good GMs. We
Yeah.
talked about Detroit. Stevie Y was highly regarded, and Detroit is in a real pickle. They signed I saw yesterday this Andrew Kopp. Well, we'll eat money to get Kopp. That was a big free agent signing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be mucky middle. Do you just
I
we
was
may as
gonna
well try
bring
and
it
be a
up-
little better as opposed to being a little worse? Because you're not going to be really bad and you're not going to be really good. So which way do you want to?
I think you need to choose a direction. That's
Above
what I'm
or
saying.
below
But the
average?
problem with choosing a direction on getting better is I don't know how you're doing it. Free agency is your tool, or you're dumping young guys, and I don't think any of the young guys that you have are appealing enough. You couldn't go get Cousins.
Yeah.
You couldn't go. Cousins is the perfect fit for what you're trying to do, and you didn't have the assets to bring him in. He was available. He was what you want. He's from out here. Would probably be real happy to be in Calgary.
Yeah.
You didn't have the assets to go get it.
Somehow, with all the cap space and picks, you didn't have what it
Right.
was going to take to get it done.
And I wonder, so think this through, just go back to last year. The fact that they were in the mucky middle, pushing to be in a playoff spot, where we all applaud them for, because they put in a hell of an effort last year. They did. It was awesome. It was nice not to throw in the towel in October, which we expected.
Yeah.
But because they were in that middle, would Rasmus Andersson have got you Dylan Cousins? Couldn't trade Rasmus Anderson last year because you're in a playoff push.
Yeah, they took the Utah offer because Kesselring was in it, and he's a right shot.
That's what I'm saying, right? But you weren't going to part with Rasmus Anderson because you didn't know what you were.
Yeah. I mean, just if it were me, I would look at it. It's what do you have for stars? who are your potential stars? It doesn't need to be best player in the world, but just who are your stars? And I don't think Honzek is that. I don't think Coronado's I think he's a good scorer, but I don't think he's a superstar, and I don't think Zary is, and I
think Zary's closer to it than Coronado is, actually.
Like Wolf, okay.
Yeah.
I'll listen.
Which is great.
And until we know, maybe Parekh is a star player. Okay. So that's our team. So let's start to shape things around those guys, which means
we're 5 years away
is
rebuilding. What it means.
Yeah. Yeah, we're rebuilding. What's going on?
What the hell is he doing?
Are you talking to yourself or are you on the phone? He's on the phone.
Oh.
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm not doing anything.
Who are you talking to?
No, I'm listening to the.
I see. Is the audio bad?
No, it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I'm just messing around with some things. Don't mind me.
I was
Are you
on
being
a roll.
clever?
Now you've distracted us, Jack.
You're bored? Are we boring you?
Button.
No,
How's the show, Jack, today?
really good, really good.
Okay.
And we can go on and on. We have about the Flames and the situation and this and that. But I still don't get clarity on what direction they're going. And I think if the longer they take to play that out, I think the worse off you are. And we've said it. How did Montreal do in a rebuild?
They had a first overall pick.
Well, you don't get first overall unless you admit to rebuilding.
Yeah.
So they admitted and they got, and I don't think that first overall pick was as highly regarded as the next couple. And anyway,
they made a hell of a good trade in the Suzuki trade. They got rid of Pacioretty. They got Suzuki, who's their captain, one of their best players.
So if you went to Montreal and you said, how'd you get your stars? Well, Suzuki's.
They drafted high. Where did they get Caulfield? Top 10, right?
And then the defenseman Lane.
Hudson they get. So, they also went to a cup final, as I recall, in the bubble.
Yeah. That cup final bubble BS was anyway.
And are you rebuilding? Yeah, you had to give away your own pick, but they pick at 18 and 32. It's not really.
No, that's just it. You're not dialing in a kid at 18 and 32 for next year to come in and have an impact.
No.
You got Parekh last year. Who are you most excited about? You just said it. Dustin Wolf and Zane Parekh.
Yeah.
And where was Zane Parekh drafted? It doesn't always work out, but and we could be completely wrong. We're excited about him, and I think it will work out, but he hasn't played in one game?
Hell of a game, though.
Hell of a game. Really good game.
Yeah, it was a real good game. I'm not sure the other team knew they were playing a game, but Flames were real good that night. Yeah, they were real good. Well, what are you worried about? What's going on?
I'm not worried about anything.
He's hungry.
Is the audio bad?
No, it's perfectly fine. It's really good.
He's not talking to me.
Does anything else happen? Are we missing any other hot topics that have
I don't know.
because of our deep analysis of Sam Honzek?
Nothing.
That does stink. When it's okay, you got some draft picks and this and that, and then it's not even we didn't hit in the second or third rounder. When you're not hitting on your firsts, it just buckles you. Right?
I didn't like the pick from the start. I was sitting at home and I saw the reaction from the fellas like Dregs on the TV screen, and everyone puts a positive spin on it. It's not a knock on kids, and they're trying to live their dream. All those kids in LA, it's one hell of a day for them, and it's awesome. And that Honzek came in and made the team last year. He changed all of our opinions. But we're back to where we were before that happened, going, if you put Sam Honzek on the trade block, who's taking him and for what?
Yeah, it feels
it's a project. He might turn into a player, but it's a project player. It's not an impact player. He's not going to be a top line forward. And if he is, awesome. And we'll be happy to eat crow again. And Michael Backlund was supposed to be in Europe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't care. Great.
It would be an amazing reversal of fortune right now if he turns into a top level performer for the Flames. And we're not that far removed from it, unfortunately. We could do the Pinder Report if you'd like, Jack. Would you like to do that?
I'm stunned.
I'd love to do the Pinder Report.
Yeah. How did
Always hungover.
guys were in the chat yesterday? How did you guys get to 12 noon? How'd you get past? I don't know.
We're going to do it again.
I don't know. We've talked about a lot of what I've got. I've only got one clip. Did you see what I've got? One.
Yeah, really great clip.
I've got one clip for the Pinder Report.
Oh, Red, I need a bet.
That's a lot of pressure, Jeff.
You've already gone to the can. So that's not ideal. Village Honda presents the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of your dealership for life. Part of the Wood Automotive Group, which means when you go to Village Honda, the lot is full of new and pre-owned. But if you don't see immediately what's there, they can go within the ownership group and find that one, just what's going to make your heart sing. Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall and villagehonda.com. I'm not even sure why I'm playing that. Anyway, it is draft day. We talked about Conroy, met with the media yesterday, says, hey, I spoke with Rasmus and things are all good. No indication that a extension of any kind is the likely outcome, but that Andersson wouldn't be a distraction, would expect him to perform well, given it's a contract year and his desire to make the team Sweden at the Olympics. But beyond that, no Anthony Mantha or Kevin Rooney return in the looks like. So sorry to the Rune dogs out there, his legions of fans. Says the team has submitted an offer to Dan Vladar, but has nothing to report beyond that. Vladar hopes to be a number one, so it seems like Disco Dan, as Pinder calls him, may well be on his way out of town. And as far as the draft, best player available. So they'd love a center if they could get one. Sam Cosentino, our old friend from Sportsnet, put out his first round deal there, his predictions and prognostications. Has the Flames taking Braden Coots of the Seattle Thunderbirds at 18. He's a center. And Riker Lee from the Madison Capitals of the USHL at number 32. A late push sees Lee land in Calgary. His hockey sense and shooting ability enable him to produce high-end offense. There's no question his skating needs work. Coots proved that he could elevate his game in high-pressure situations against difficult competition. High energy, in-your-face type of game at the U18s. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if either one happen to be. Oilers signed Trent Frederick as expected this morning. The 8-year, $3.85 million extension is done. Had just one regular season game. He was injured at the time of the deal, coming over from Boston. As
bad ankles, Dean.
Yeah. Then had 4 points in 22 playoff games. 6'3", 220. He's a tough customer. He's got some real spit and sandpaper in his game.
Does he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I like him.
I saw him fight. It wasn't
Oh, fuck's sakes.
Good.
What? How we doing?
Why are you doing this?
Ask Jack.
Look at this glorious Bluebird Day, fellas. Oh, the Jays at Fenway, one of the penultimate venues in all of sports. I don't know if that's the right word. How we doing?
That's not
That's not the right word.
No.
You got it. You got to have the lobster roll.
Oh, we do have to do lobster rolls. We've hit some nice food venues. No seafood yet. I think that's tonight. Maybe tomorrow after the matinee. Let's go.
Yeah, they have they do them at Fenway. You've got club seats, I understand.
We have good seats tonight. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the fellas splurged on the seats. We're doing a tour of the Monster, and then batting practice and a suite. We're good. Oh, baby.
One of
Red,
the
you
fellas
should be here.
splurged on the tickets.
That's right.
Got it. I see.
Someone had a good year. Nice bonuses. I don't know.
That's way.
When are we getting bonused out? I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, that's good. Somebody's got that going for them. Well, it is the Pinder Report.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You have any Crocs or kangaroos or spiders
Actually,
or what?
you know what? We can play. I have one clip.
Okay.
I have one thing for the Pinder Report, and while you're here, we may as well run it.
Yeah, why not, eh?
Yeah.
It's like Fun Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Fun Friday. It's like Fun Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Fun Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, you fucking losers. It's Flat Fuck Friday.
It's Flat Fuck Friday, Ryan.
One of my favorite days.
Yeah. Happy Flat Fuck Friday.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
You got a horse officer, horsifer.
of course. Have you been thrown in the drunk tank yet, or is that
Narrowly escaped last night.
good?
It's a close call. Touch and go.
Yeah,
You are with your children, correct?
Yeah, the kids had a good sleep. Don't worry about the kids. We're all good.
Yeah. Who'd you leave them with, or anybody? Just kind of
Well, you know, they're sleeping, right?
on the floor, and you guys will just eat that when you need.
Well, thanks for calling in.
What's
Yeah, really good, guys. Let's
We're
go,
really-
Jose Berrios. Need a quality start here. Gosman was great yesterday. Bullpen's rested.
We could use
Yeah.
the bet 365.
You can't use it in mass. I'm trying. It's killing me.
Can still give us your insight.
Yeah, you could give us an insight. We've been talking about Rasmus Andersson.
Okay.
Totally come back around now, keeping him.
What?
Yeah, that's the move.
What?
You got to think these things through, Ryan.
Yeah, we talked with Dreger. The returns that are coming in are light. So
Please.
the best option is to just sign him.
Yeah, let's definitely marry a guy who'll be in decline when the team's actually good. Do it anytime you get a chance.
When's the team going to be good?
20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah.
With Hanzik as captain, this team's really going to crank it up. Bunch of assholes.
Your cup overfloweth, Dean.
Yeah.
Mr. Positivity as always.
Send us a picture of your beer. Are you going to do the duck boat tour with the boys?
No, these kids can't sit still. They're after the 5-hour flight, they're absolute criminals. So we're not sitting still for anything.
All right. They
All
go
right.
in the water, you know.
Yeah, how is it? I imagine it's a little chilly. We could do a dip at some point.
He's got a boog in his mustache. I can't stop looking at it.
Oh, hang up.
Hang
on
up
this.
on this guy.
Delicious. All right.
Goodbye.
Hit the button, Dean. Just.
Oh my God.
I've spent so many years of my life with that guy.
Does he feel like he contributed? Is that why he's?
Don't know. Now he'll spend. Well, hey, I jumped on the show for a little bit, helped out the guys.
He feels good about
He
it.
does feel good about it.
Have you ever almost knocked Ryan out? Like,
Oh,
What?
when we first started working together.
Yeah, Rhett and Ryan. Yeah, there was a learning
couple
curve.
close calls.
The
Yeah.
first night I ever ran into that doofus was at the Banff Springs at a buddy's wedding.
Yeah,
And
like
He
first night you
comes
ever
up
met
to
him.
me and just we're going to be working together. What do you think about that? What in the is this asshat? Get out of here.
Yeah, he right in your grill and starts immediately with hockey takes
Yeah.
and talking
What do you
about
think
hockey.
about I don't think anything about it. Nothing. Zero. So yes, we have
We've spent a lot of time.
I've threatened him with a hammer.
Headbutts, punch in the mouth. Yeah, the hammer was aggressive. Don't call me stupid. We never really got an ultimatum there. It was just a warning shot. But yeah. Back to the Pinder Report.
That was enough.
Fuck's sakes. We've talked about Dallas. We've talked about the Islanders and Dobson. The thing with Dobson, I mean, he's 25.
Pick him up.
He's a
Let's
restricted
look at
free
him,
agent. He has
Jake.
arbitration rights. Just finished his 3-year deal worth $4 million per. The thing here is what? Well, why wouldn't you just keep him? Arb could be risky, and he's going to want big dough, and maybe doesn't want to stay there. He had last year 60 assists, 70 points in 79 games on the blue line. So he's going to want big dough. But he's 25, and maybe you have to pay guys like that big dough. Trade seems imminent, according to some insiders. We talked about
What's
Bill
big
Byram.
dough? Like 10?
Yeah, I would think you're probably
God, that's
It's a tough one. Well, Darnell Nurse and Seth Jones
Okay,
are
well-
making 9.5. I guess so.
I would trade Honzik and Anderson. Who else could we send for Dobson? My
Right.
18th pick overall.
Yeah, I don't know if you're. Yeah,
Why not?
I don't know.
Pick him up.
All right.
Come on, Conroy. Quit sitting around playing softball. Let's go. Hardball right down the middle.
Bo Byram, we heard from Dregs. Sounds like he could be on the move. He's 2 years away from being a UFA. He needs a contract in Buffalo, and no one really knows what
Pick
Buffalo's
him up.
doing. Yeah, no one's real sure. Vancouver.
I was going to ask Drakes about that because so this is what I'm saying. You better pick a direction. There's a team that I don't know what direction.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Right? Like, I think they're trying to appease their key defenseman.
I do too.
Like trying to, and if Demko's good, they're right back in the mix, sure. And Bowen Byram's a good defenseman, and I could see why you'd want to be in on him. But I mean,
He's just a kid.
if
this Bo
you
Byram.
believe, now there's a whole bunch of Petersons or Pedersons on that team, right?
Yeah, at
So
least
I'm talking about the
Canucks.
highest paid one.
Elias.
Yeah, if you believe he's going to come back and get you 100 points and play like he's supposed to, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you've got your star. And he's a kid, and you've got a star on defense. And if Demko's good, yep, absolutely. He didn't show anything. Even after the big trade,
No.
after all the distraction, all the
No.
challenges, he's soft as puppy poo.
I feel like there's a lot of time going to be spent talking about that guy on
Yes.
shows like this, about what is he, where does he go, what's he worth. Cap's going up, so maybe it's not so much to pay this guy because he's north of 10 million or whatever it is. He doesn't give you those Florida Panther vibes,
No, he sure doesn't, Dean.
Not really. Dreger on TSN.ca had speculated Brock Besser may be a guy for Winnipeg if they can't keep Nikolai Ehlers. Besser's a guy that's going to be out there as a free agent. Top 20 goals in 6 of his 8 seasons in Vancouver. Had 40 a couple
Where's he
years
from?
ago. He's an American.
America.
America!
I know, but if he's from
beautiful!
Minnesota, it might be close because to me,
Yeah.
Winnipeg's
Is he
really.
from War Road. Good.
Some people would know this.
Just ask it. You don't have to ask old. What's her name? Is it Alexa? She's hot.
Yeah, great voice.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Brock Besser. Besser's a tough spell. Jack would probably get it right while trying to spell it wrong.
Boes. No.
Yes. Yeah, Burnsville.
Ah, there you go.
Burnsville, Minnesota. There, Dean.
Burns.
Burnsy.
I'll go get him. Justin Tucker in the NFL. He is a free agent. He was a hell of a kicker. Super accurate. Also a bit of a creep. He's been suspended, although he doesn't have a team. He's been suspended for the first 10 games of the upcoming season for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. He's been accused by multiple massage therapists of inappropriate behavior.
He pulled a Watson.
Take some time off.
Yeah, that's the Cleveland Browns are reaching out to Justin Tucker. Fellas, just don't do it. That would be our tip of the day
That's
from Barn Burner.
Don't do it.
Fellas, get a massage. They can be therapeutic for both your body, mind, and soul.
my back.
Yeah. But then just leave. Just leave. Put your shit back on. Walk out the door. Pro tip. Helpful hints from Barn Burner. Does make you wonder though how, because we hear about the ones that are getting caught.
This is the,
Is
is
this
this
not
the Pinder
a
Report, or is
rabbit
this
hole
just
we
you
wanna go.
rambling
What?
about?
We don't want to go down that path.
Yeah, where are you going with this?
Masai Ujiri is
Like,
out in
Why
Toronto.
you brought it up at all? Fuck Tucker. Who cares? Get out of here.
He was super accurate.
Yeah,
He was
he's real good.
Hey,
I
Jack.
have
He
him
is
on
one
my
of the best
fantasy
kickers of all
squad.
time. He has pissed me off a lot.
Oh yeah, and then this year wasn't as accurate. Probably needed a
Yeah,
massage.
yeah,
Couldn't
well,
get
we
one.
don't-
No one would give him a rub down. Well, you know how that's gonna go. He's missed 5 in a row. I don't care what you gotta. See, yeah, Masai Ujiri's out.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can't either. The
Who's the guy?
Raptors, or more accurately, MLSE, because now you've got what is it, Keith Pelly, and there's a whole bunch of things changing there. Because old Big Rogers,
Glad we don't have to deal with that bullshit.
president and vice chairman of the Raptors, shown the door. Took over in 2013. Raptors had missed the playoffs in 5 straight seasons. Since then, 8 playoff appearances, 9 series wins, and a championship. Doesn't seem like the body of work that would get you gunned, but he gone.
Always changes, Dean.
The Calgary Surge. We talked about
Just before you move on.
Mm.
Didn't they just have the draft?
Yesterday.
the Raptors, yeah. It's the
Or
day after the
before? I
draft.
feel like I would.
There was a clip of him saying, "Hey, guy that said an F-bomb after we picked you. We're so happy to have you." That was
maybe
and then
that's
today.
why he got shit
I don't
canned,
know.
because everyone else knew that this guy didn't want anything to do with.
I feel
Toronto.
much like the massage parlor. There's some things going on that we don't know about. And maybe it's best not knowing. So anyway,
Cav
Surge.
Surge.
Told you yesterday they were in Saskatchewan to play the.
Yeah, Doug was there. Sure.
No, he wasn't there. Well, he would have seen the 3rd win of the season for the Rattlers, as it
Well,
turns out.
he's good luck.
Rattlers have 3 wins. 2 of them have been against the Surge. So what I'm telling you is the Rattlers are not very good. Surge are quite good, but a tough one. 96-89, the Surge lose.
What?
I know. Surge are off until next week. They will visit the Brampton Honey Badgers. Middle of a 3-game road trip, if you will. They will come home, but it's playing the weekend. But all roads point towards the Saddle Dome. It'll be a big, big night for the Calgary Surge. They take on Montreal at the Dome Wednesday, July 9th.
Pinder giving us those tickets, or is he keeping those for himself?
I'm not sure. He does offer them up, but that's
Yeah,
at the
when
Dome.
it's
This is a different.
inconvenient for him.
Yeah, if he's not using them, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about. Anyway, that's of all the things you can experience in and around Stampede, that's one to check out. Dome, Wednesday, July 9th, as the Surge hit the floor in the building that's got the roof, doing one of these. Yep.
Look like Saddle.
I guess it is, eh? Cavalry FC, they're back in action at Atco Field this weekend. They host Atletico Ottawa. Now, we all know Pinder's the soccer guy. He's the footy guy here. But if he were here, he would tell you that this is a banger. This might be the match of the season. I don't know. Out of nowhere, Atletico Ottawa, top of the table. They have been the toast of the league.
It's Tommy's spot.
I know. They are currently in a tie for 3rd spot, but Calvary's got they got it together. 6 wins and 2 draws in their last 8. Their last loss was in April against Atletico Ottawa. I'm saying this is
When's
now Forge has got something to say about it, I guess.
screw the 4.
But to me, these are the 2 teams to talk about in the entire CPL. They're 2 behind Forge, 4 back of first place Ottawa. So we'll win here Saturday afternoon at 4 bells. Saturday at 4, a banger. As Tommy and the boys, it needs to be top of the table, Tommy.
Yeah, get this sorted out here.
So you
Boom,
need
have
to win
you
again.
been down to a game yet?
Yeah, his kid. We went together, and his kid punched the other kid in the nose and
Oh, that's
got
good.
bloody nose all over my car.
It's not entirely inaccurate. It sounds like something that I would say, it's not.
Pretty much how it went.
Kinda
Yeah.
happened.
They're stupid. They were in the back seat. They started wrestling, and one got punched in the nose and got a nosebleed.
And then it was real quiet in the back.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going. It was like Then we realized.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, what's going on back there? Oh, we've been gifted some cavalry merch, and you've got blood all over one of these fucking scarves. Nice job. Stupid.
yeah, they're good kids.
Are they?
Nope. Not their kids.
Okay. Guess that's the Pinder Report.
It's nice.
Is there anything else? Did we do did we play that crocodile vid?
I was going to ask, Jack, let's discuss this amongst ourselves.
Okay.
If Pinder played that croc vid, well received or
It's fat fluck, whatever it was. I just saw it had F-bombs in it and crocodiles, and I figured this meets
I
a
think
lot of the
it's-
criteria.
yeah.
Yeah, fit perfectly.
Let's do one more time.
One more time. Okay.
Yeah.
No, let's go out with it.
Yeah.
Right
Pinder
now
Report
or
brought
go
to you by Village Honda, located at obviously Northwest Auto Mall, villagehonda.com.
On the website
go
last
out-
night.
Go out of the Pinder Report or out of the show?
I don't care.
We'll go out of the show.
It's your thing.
Just because you're not ready, Jack.
Your
Oh, I can get it ready right now.
Nah, it's fine. It's all right.
You playing a game again?
No, I'm just seeing the Dobson deal sounds like it's about to go down.
You want to yell any rumors out, or it's you just repeating what?
Well, Weeksy's forehead says it's the Montreal Canadiens.
Le Habitant?
Les Habs. So the Habs will have Caulfield and Dobson and Slavkovsky,
Suzuki, Hudson.
Their goalie made the fake Olympic team there, Montembeault, right?
Mhm.
Well, good for Montreal. Good for them.
So they don't have to take 14 years of missing the playoffs to get back in the mix.
Noah Dobson est échangé au Canadien Montréal qui l'a rapporté en première Kevin Weeks.
He gets a lot of them wrong, though.
Signing an now what did we say? So because the extension, it looks like there's been
10.
an extension as part of the deal.
It said 10.
Yeah,
You
we
said
kind of
10.
said 10.
You did. I didn't.
Okay. 39 points in 71 games last year, 70 in 79. What do you
I got the number.
I do too.
Oh, okay.
Because we said, well, if Nurse is making 9.5, then
10.
8 years, 9.5.
Oh.
So we're on the barn burner scale. It's right where we thought it would be. Because we're smart.
We're breaking a lot of news today.
God, we should just keep going.
I don't know what's going on.
What do you mean?
Like 2 days ago, there was the slightest bit of audio interference. Day off. Let's go home.
It's total.
I come in today. He's like, what do you think about working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday?
No,
and
I
Thursday
never
next
said
week?"
nothing about Monday. You said Monday because you said, it's not really a holiday. It's a Pinder holiday because he can't get rid of his kids. So
Right.
he's taking it's.
Oh, and he'll be ready to get rid of them. He's got them all weekend. Sorry, Ryan.
So who was the trade for? Great. Dobson got a whole bunch of money and went to Montreal, but what did the Islanders get?
Stay tuned.
Why the hell wouldn't that be part of it?
Well, I'm sure it is. Montreal Canadiens, no Dobson, sign and trade. 8 years, 9.5.
What's your guess, Red? Give us
I have no.
Yeah, you know that system well.
Yeah,
In Montreal, who
yeah.
would be some of the young assets that the Islanders would be looking for?
Dvorak, Radek's boy.
I don't think that's gonna do it. They got a CBA done. You went through one of these things, right? Where there was labor unrest.
Oh, they hate each other, the union and the league.
Yeah.
They can't stand each other. We gotta.
Here they just did one of these. Put her there, pal. That's how easy it is nowadays.
Oh, so I didn't have to give up 2 schmil just and
Yeah.
sit around and end up married. And
But see what was that part of the deal? Didn't see that in the CBA. Yeah, but you paved the way for today's young players
oh, good.
by sitting out and
Yeah.
giving up millions of dollars.
and refusing a salary cap.
Yeah.
Wait,
Good
no,
job.
We didn't.
Reportedly, we talked about it yesterday. 84 game regular season begins
Boo.
year after next, 26-27.
Boo.
It's believed, though, it's not. They're going to shorten the
I
preseason.
don't give a shit.
But
They
it
should
doesn't-
shorten the preseason anyway and still play 82. What about all those honks with the records and we can't change things? With
I know. Now you got two more games to do it. Contracts right now, it's 7 as a free agent, 8 to re-sign with your team. They're going down to 6 and 7 respectively. Deferred salary not allowed. Signing rights to draft picks, uniform across leagues. Full-time emergency backup goalie within organizations.
Jack.
Which again, we talked. I think they're going to have an e-bug, and dude's going to be on the payroll, won't count towards their cap, but is going to be with the team
Can you imagine
24/7.
the beer league scramble right now for all those guys thinking, ooh,
I could do this.
this is my chance.
That might be the best
Oh.
gig ever.
You travel. I think you travel with the
Travel
team.
with the team.
You're not going to be making real like the player money.
See,
No, you'll still make
but
a
you'll
living.
be
though, I
making a
think.
living.
why don't they just I don't think you're right. I don't think
What?
you're traveling with each team has their own e-bug, or is there an e-bug in
Well,
each
that's what
city?
I thought, is that each city would have their own e-bug. It's you're going to be paid. You come and practice. You're at the rink. But I thought I read this morning, guys are going to travel with the team. This is your guy.
So why are you calling it a
It's a
e-bug?
third goalie.
You got a third goalie. I don't. Jesus Christ.
Full-time emergency backup goalie within organizations. I don't know. Maybe you don't travel. Maybe if there's hey, we're
Makes no sense to travel. If you're traveling with the team, you're the third goalie on the team, and we're gonna because you're gonna go outside the box right now and get some drunk off 17th.
it's probably not the biggest part of the
I
CBA
could
to
give
get
you
nailed, to get hung up in.
You know what? There's actually nothing big in the CBA.
well, hang
I don't
on.
give a shit about.
Teams cannot mandate player dress codes when
Oh.
arriving or departing games,
That's big.
and playoff game rosters must be cap compliant.
Now that's probably
That's the biggest
shtick.
deal.
I saw one the other day with I think it was in the NFL where somebody got traded, and it was a movement payment or something like instead of the no trades. All right, you can trade me, but you're giving me 2. Oh, I like that.
Mhm.
Get rid of these no trades and say, yeah, I want absolutely you can trade me. $3 million.
So it sounds like you'll be able to have more bodies around because you know how it is in the playoffs. You got your black aces and that sort of thing. You can still have bodies around, but the players that are on the ice,
Have to
that
add up.
group has to be under
Yeah.
cap restraints. Sure.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Although I didn't mind the other. I don't really give a shit.
I know.
wasn't one of those guys from
In that respect, it's probably good we aren't in charge. There'd probably be a lot of things like, hey, we've got so-and-so on the phone. What do you think about if they have sticks of dynamite on the visitors bench? Are they lit? No, I don't think so.
Then
Yeah,
who
fuck,
cares?
whatever. Put them where you want.
Hell, yeah.
He's given the green light to the dynamite on the on the visitors bench.
Well, that's good. I'm glad the CBA.
CBA's done.
That was
The draft tonight. Round 2s and 3s and 4s and 6s, all them tomorrow. And then next week, July 1, free agency.
we'll be here
Ooh,
Tuesday.
baby.
Come on, John, bothered. Don't drag this out. See, you're babbling again, and that's why we end up at 12:30.
I'm trying to find you the return on Dobson.
Oh, Jack.
I'm looking too, Red. There's nothing.
Bet
Then
365.
Conroy should have picked him up.
Whatever your bet is for that kind for nothing.
Holy.
What's Conroy doing over there? Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION when you sign up. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. There you go. You got a little burly. Mets, Yankees, Jays. Jays in Boston. The Yanks are home to the A's.
I love a parlay.
And the Mets are in Pittsburgh. See, it's a little shot at you there, Jack. Even when you got to
Yeah,
pay close attention.
I know. As soon as I saw it,
Thought about it.
this is his friend parlay, except he hates me.
Hates a straw.
I just,
Just
I'm
kidding.
trying to use my brain.
There you go. Oh, and you know what we had today? Didn't we? We had a
Yeah,
thing.
there
didn't we?
was somebody.
Oh,
in
sure,
there
hit
for
it. Yeah,
this.
why not? Yeah. Super chat. Proceeds to the Youth Centers of Calgary. Is this a bot? $13.99. If this is a soft rebuild and Rass was traded today without roster players back, should Calgary look at Ekblad? Bill's team from net out may play well with Perrick, plays great. I mean, no would be my answer because you move Rasmus, I guess, to get assets, but then
I don't mind it, but the problem is Ekblad's not coming here. What's wrong with it?
well, I don't know. I wouldn't go Ekblad for 7 years because whatever concerns you have about Andersson being aging out when the team is good, you'd put to Ekblad. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah, but
you can trade Rasmus.
You're getting assets plus Ekblad,
Right?
Not just Rasmus.
No, I know. I wouldn't. If you call that big game hunting, I wouldn't go big game hunting for Ekblad. I would try and find a middle tier guy. You can play for
There's
3
a
or
first overall pick, Dean. 6'4", 220.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you don't
champion.
You don't need him. Go and get someone get a 3 or 4 year deal. And then if he's good, sign him again. Because you're hoping when Perrick and Wolf and all these, these young players that you got in the Rasmus deal, this is okay. Now we're, but I could be wrong.
I think you are. I don't mind it, but Ekblad's not coming here.
No. He is not. How was the show today, Jack?
You already asked him that.
Yeah, you already asked.
Well, I kind of asked you mid-show when it
No, I
was
asked me
When
like
it
10
was
minutes
good,
ago.
the last half hour's been.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for this trade.
Yeah,
This is
It's these insiders.
how
They're
can you
all hot
report
and
a
bothered.
trade if there's no?
That's what it is. It's you got to race, got to get it out there. Trade. Okay. What's the trade? Well, I don't know, but there's been a trade. Okay, great.
trade
do
and an
that.
extension.
We're good at that.
We got another super.
Play it or put it up or
Red, I bought an 04 Flames jersey. Do I have your
Hell
permission
yeah.
to put your name on it?
you don't need my permission.
Fucking right, Cheddar Bob.
I'll pay you to do it.
There's some speculation out there.
Breakfast sandwich.
Les Habs were supposed to pick 16, 17. Both picks could be going for Noah Dobson, 2 firsts. Get Rasmus on the market ASAP, Connie.
Rasmus is not Dobson.
I know, but if I don't need 2 firsts, like 2 middle firsts, if
You
that's
and
what
your
it is.
draft picks.
This is gonna stink because someone's gonna watch this days down the road and be like, "Oh, I can't. How am I gonna watch this? I've known for weeks now what the return is, and these guys are still kicking the can around trying to wait for it.
this.
Emil Heineman and both Montreal's first tonight.
Wasn't that the guy?
That's the guy, yeah.
The
The
Bennett.
Bennett
guy?
one, yeah.
Came from Florida, shipped to Montreal.
Why did we ship him to Montreal?
That was Toffoli, I believe.
Yeah. And then we got Sharon Govich.
I'm confused. I've been doing this too long. We should quit.
Both first-round picks and Emil Heineman. But you did sign him to an extension.
I would make that trade if I was Montreal.
You don't
if
want
I
those
got
picks?
Noah Dobson at 15 or 16. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Another super chat.
Keep them coming.
Love your retro, you're a beaut. I'd say the same about you, Boom, but I can't bear hug you. All right, Cheddar Bob. Whatever floats.
Jay McKee is out in Banff too, by the way. I'm going to
Jeez.
cheese balls on Sunday afternoon.
He's in Banff.
Banff.
What are they doing in Banff?
I don't know.
What do you do in Banff?
Go on hikes. Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Walk
It'll be
around the
busy
stores.
too, long weekend.
Oh yeah.
He must have lots of money because it's real expensive. Too.
Yeah. He's probably not staying at some
He's not in his
flea
tent.
bag.
He's not tenting.
B&B out there. He's not tenting. Well, I don't know when we'll see you next. It's no telling.
You'll be on tonight, no?
Oh fuck! Is that happening tonight?
Yeah, it's the draft tonight.
Why does everyone want me to?
You're so
You
good?
don't
at
have to.
Everyone
Bill, it's
hates
just
me, but
funny.
it's like, well, do more.
No,
Yeah, I don't hear you banging the drum to be
I'm real busy.
working the draft tonight.
I am working.
There's your
I'm
opportunity.
working a draft.
We're getting rep from the dome.
The draft tap.
I'm upstairs.
Pouring
with
pints.
Conroy and the brass down at the dome, giving them some reality checks.
See, this
They
is
start to outthink.
this is
everybody.
why this whole thing is flawed. We are going to have an alumni in the building tonight.
Yep.
No talk of him coming on our draft coverage. He played for the team, has a direct access to the GM, will be in the building. No, sorry, I can't help tonight.
Nobody asked.
But I'd have some breakfast sandwiches on Tuesday if you're inclined.
I can go.
Let's
through
like sneak a microphone on you or something.
I'll be real.
Send you in with a wire. Do they pat you down when you go in there?
Another super chat.
A lot of people watching this. Chatterbob! Jack, you're a beaut.
Thank you. You're a beauty too, Cheddar Bob.
279.
I'll tell you what. When I got here this morning, way before you, Jack was pumped about tonight. He was real excited. So I don't know why.
I've been looking forward to it all week.
No, you haven't been. You've been dreading it all week.
What do you mean? He wants to spend the whole Friday at the studio.
Yeah, I'm not
before
leaving
the
today.
long
I'm gonna go
weekend.
grab my blanket,
Are
have a
you?
nap.
I
Well,
saw that.
I got to be back here for
Throw a
3:30.
little Netflix.
Well, I'll tell
do
you what,
some
if you leave, you're
homework.
not getting parking.
Yeah,
If you've got a
I've
parking
got
spot,
a parking
keep it.
spot. There's no point leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go
Oh,
grab
let's
some
go.
grub and
Yeah. So what are you doing for the long weekend?
Oh, we got the
Kids?
Canada Day lacrosse tournament.
Right.
Oh, and to the Rocky View Rage old man with the megaphone yelling at the kids in the lacrosse game. You, sir, are a D-bag.
Do you think he knows who he is? Do you think he's
I don't know, but if anyone on that team last night, good for you, championship, all that stuff, the ass that had felt the need to
he's got like a
heckle and berate the children in the
was he making were there some funny quips along the way?
Billy Bob birded him.
Oh,
He wasn't going to stand for it. And I'm also birding you because that's the kind of fella you are.
so his tactics worked.
Yeah, they got in there.
They really got in there.
I said to my
And did
kid,
you
I
lose?
said I wished. Yeah,
Yeah?
we did. We got
Jeez.
snot bubbled. We were in it 1-0 going into the third. Their goalie was really good. They were defending well. They
Mhm.
was really dialed in defensively. And then
Yeah.
scored a couple and the wheels fell.
Wind out of the sails, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheddar Bob. Boom. I feel like a bear hug would cheer you up. I'm not sure.
You should head out to Banff and find the boss. And
Yeah. I don't want that kind of bear.
I think he's talking about your dog.
No, he's not talking about my dog. He's talking about that.
How are your dumb dogs?
That semen.
I also
spreader
was
out
going to
there.
say that all of you dog owners that allow your dogs to shit on the sidewalk outside, that's classy. We got like 5 dog shops in this area.
Yeah.
And every day I leave, I have to sidestep the dog poop. Like, holy, what is going on?
Well, soon there won't be a sidewalk to shit on.
Well, that's
the
I think
upside.
I think the city's onto something here.
Yeah.
They're just trying to eliminate all.
yeah.
Wasn't it San Fran, Shit City, or whatever?
That's right,
it
yeah.
was?
Yeah. You'll need like hiking gear. Go spelunking to get to the studio. Fuck. Is there a Sherpa available? I need to get to work today. This.
Oof,
It's got to be enough.
that's got to be enough.
Yeah.
You're always let's play the crocodiles, Jeff. Let's go. Push the button.
So what is just tonight
Oh yeah, you didn't pump it up.
is our draft coverage here on Flames Nation, on the Flames Nation YouTube. Mike Gould, who was tremendous yesterday,
Very good
on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of reaction
You
online
should go back if you haven't
about
seen
his
it, find it.
his appearance. Covering round one of the draft tonight. I think there will be a Kent Wilson appearance.
He will be in studio
Ryan Pike from the Dome.
from the Dome.
That's where I'll be.
If you're gonna have somebody at the Dome
Yeah,
on draft night, be good to hear from them. And of course, Mike Gould driving the bus. A presentation of Platinum Mitsubishi, family owned and operated by lifelong Calgarians. Mitsubishis have the best warranty in the business with a 10-year warranty. Lease and finance rates start at 0.99%. Check out the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, P-H-E-V, Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. It's all at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail, Northeast. And of course, our gaming partners at Bet365. You know them, you love them. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in the game. Use the promo code NATION when you get signed up. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. So there you go. That is tonight.
We've got another super chat.
Is it fucking Bob again?
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, great. Now that T.O. just overspent on Tavares, should Calgary offer sheet Nyes? 40 million, 5 years. I don't think it was an overspend. It's 4 point whatever million, Dregs was saying.
Scored 38
on
last
Tavares.
year.
I just feel like with Nyes, they're going to match. They're going to find a way. They'll match and then figure it out because you got, a week to match any offer sheets. So then you can trade your. Feels like kind of a waste. What's 5 times 8? 7.
The nerd that sits with us
Yeah.
sometimes said it had to be like 9.5 to put.
To really put the
Toronto
squeeze
on
on,
the
it's got to be a lot, and then you're in the neighborhood of a first, a second, and a third. It's not like you're just signing them. It's like, hey, we signed you. That's unrestricted free agency. Here, if you offer sheet and they say, okay, take them, we'll take the compensation. It could be multiple picks, like multiple firsts, that sort of thing. Probably doesn't feel like Nyes, although a good player, may not be the guy that you want to spend 3 first rounders on.
I like him.
Yeah, I do
But-
too. Ryan thinks though he's playing with Matthews, so careful what you buy.
So good players playing with good players is a bad.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're not as good. Somehow they turn less good when they play with good players.
So you got to be good enough to play with the good players, but if you're with the good players, you're not as good.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Unless you're the really good player, because I don't think people say that about Matthews. I was like, well, yeah, Matthews, but he plays with Nyes. You don't hear that.
No, I
No.
guess.
Oh man. Chatter Bob, when's the next Greta function? You know what? Nothing on the cooker, but there will be one. That I know.
Pop in during stand.
Good folks. And you know what? Go and check out their website. It's Greta YYC and there's their Instagram. We talked yesterday about the DJs they have got something going.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday.
The entire week. It's just bang, bang, bang. Live DJ. They got stuff going all throughout Canada Day weekend and into Stampede. Or DJ Fatty. Hey, Grandma, where are you going? Oh, just going out. I got to pick up Myrtle. We're going to Greta. We love a good fatty. And it is Canada Day.
I'm going to celebrate Canada.
Yeah. That's right. So that's the Greta story. What was the other? We extending the show for the kids? Yeah, you're welcome. Meta. I don't know what
Meta
that is.
World Peace.
Yeah. Thanks. This for extending the show and for the kids. You're welcome, I guess. No one's.
Here's another one.
Get Rossi and a second for Rasmus. Offer sheet Nyes. $8 million a year.
Where's Rossi?
Minnesota.
Oh, and how's their decor?
Pretty good, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Uh-huh. Don't they have do they have a young defenseman coming on this year?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a.
Yeah, they got a really young one, and then they just signed another one, Brock Faber. He's really good. So I don't know if that would necessarily. They were willing to move Rossi for Paterka, and got rebuffed apparently. So I don't know how that works. And then this one's just a buck.
He's got his question
He does have a.
or a statement.
Okay, Flames gave us the pick to trade for Dobson to take on Sean Monahan. Thanks, Flames. Drive to 25. Go Habs, go. That is. I mean, there is some truth to that. The Habs did give 2 first-rounders for Dobson. One of those picks belonged to the Flames.
And the Dobson pick was a Flames pick.
Correct. Nowhere in this, though, does it feel like the Flames got the right end of any of the.
Nope.
Like the Habs did okay on one part, and the Islanders did okay, and they maybe are all still doing okay. Flames don't have a pick tonight. They don't have the pick that could have been used for Dobson or 5 years of Dobson.
Huh.
It's a bit of a bummer.
No, it doesn't always work out, Dean.
No. And that one really didn't. You did get Hamannik.
I like that.
That's what you got out of that deal.
Hamannik's a great Rasmus Andersson, because the reason Hamannik was well coveted was why?
His low cap hit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why the Flames paid more to get him. Yeah.
Well, maybe they can do an Islanders move and end up with 2 first-rounders in 5 years.
Maybe.
You could push the button anytime.
I thought we're
getting
playing
into
the Croc thing.
12:30 time frame again. Jack's going to lose his S.
I've got nowhere to be, so this can go on as long as we want.
No,
Don't
no, it
tempt it.
can't. It really can't. All right.
Hey, tonight's the night. Tonight is the night where the Flames and the franchise.
And just to be clear, you want to do more of this like on Tuesday?
I don't want to do more of anything ever. You're making the you're doing the spinach of words. We're either doing it Wednesday or Tuesday. So what the hell difference does it make? Is what I say.
Yeah, because it does feel like this is kind of what it ends up being, is when there's not a lot. It's just kind of, well, now we'll just fill some time. We could talk. I'll tell you, there's a lot of people. God, people are great because they can't be enjoying it, but they're watching. A lot of people between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
There's still 674 on YouTube.
There's a lot of people that are hanging around. I've been hanging.
They're bored.
around.
I'm bored.
This is time to come.
They're waiting for the holidays to start. The long weekend.
So what's the plan next week? Let's
You want to nail it
get
down?
this down.
All right.
God's sakes. I'm sorry, people. This
Okay,
is
so-
total off-air conversation.
Let me write it.
No, these don't happen off air. You just leave
It's true. So Friday, are we doing a show? Oh, that's today.
today. Yep, we're done today, and then
Check.
draft tonight. Check.
Tomorrow is Saturday. Then it's Sunday. When does the new week start? Sunday or Monday? How do you kind of?
We went over this one.
I feel like it's a long weekend, and if you want to throw in the Monday, it could be part of the long weekend, which is leading into Tuesday, which means Wednesday is technically the start of the week.
Okay. So for this tomorrow, the 28th of June, show, no show.
No show.
There's a draft going on.
Yeah, round 2 and 3 and the rest tomorrow.
Oh, because after round 1, it doesn't matter. Because I was drafted in this
Well, do you want to do a show?
second round.
Did you want to do a show tomorrow?
No.
Oh,
Okay. Sunday,
But somebody should. We're doing part of the network.
I think the NHL do one. Remember Adnan Virk would host that? He was so good at it.
Sunday's a day off. It's a day of worship.
okay.
Worship. Okay. So then Monday is the 30th?
It's the Pinderese. Is there 30 or 31 days?
30 days. I don't know.
Anyway,
Here's the thing: we've got Noodles Wednesday, and we've got Dreger Thursday already. So we just Are we doing 3 shows? Or are we going to do 2 shows?
Okay, so Noodles Wednesday,
Oh,
which I should confirm, I guess.
Yeah.
Dreger reached. We talked to him earlier. He said I can't do Friday, but I can do Wednesday or Thursday.
Perfect.
And I'm like, well, Noodles does Wednesday. How about Thursday? He said, yeah, sure. So Dreg's Thursday. So I guess we should do a show Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to do a show Thursday with Dreger? Put that as a maybe.
If Dregs is on, I want to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Jack,
Yeah, I'm in.
show
Thursday, for sure.
Wednesday, Noodles.
Yep.
God, it's hard to turn him down.
I know.
Yeah, we can.
Show.
Show.
If Noodles is on, we do Wednesday. If he's not, we do Tuesday.
Sure.
How about that? That's decisive.
Make a call.
I'm leaving. Let's go.
See, you are an idea guy. And then when it comes down to
Burritos.
I don't want to eat like beer. That'll put me to sleep for the day. Are you okay?
Your breakfast today, Rhett?
No,
No.
this is just boom, showing you he has nothing
Oh,
to do for the
you know
rest of
what?
the day.
I had a breakfast sando this morning. I'm not going to say which place. Eggshells in the eggs.
Ugh.
Fresh to crack.
Fellas, very fresh. But you know if
That's awful.
right, you know.
Terrible. No bueno.
You know what though? Like I was driving, eggshells. I survived it.
You didn't turn around.
No, I didn't hit the rhubarb or spin out or anything, but it was not good.
Let's not have that happen.
Did you still eat it all?
It's fiber.
Come on. Stay focused. All right, we're working on the goddamn schedule here.
Right.
Wednesday, I'll keep my phone right here in case it goes off.
Well, I'm not sitting
From
here waiting
Noodles.
for him to answer.
Who,
It could be a
Noodler?
frickin' it's a negotiator. He might be overseas. doing a
So
big
Monday,
deal.
30th of June. Tuesday, July 1.
So I think if Noodles can't go Wednesday, we do something Tuesday.
I don't know why he wouldn't be able to go Wednesday. If anything, he wouldn't
All
be
right,
able to
then-
do Tuesday.
Then Wednesday, Thursday it is.
And off Monday, Tuesday.
I guess. Right?
I'm off.
See, when I walked in, he was the one that was talking.
He's pushing to do more
he was pushing
shows.
to do more shows. And now he's out on the one that we're currently doing. Like truly, I don't know if July 1 means something to you as a sports fan and a hockey fan, you're watching TSN or Sportsnet. You've got that going.
Yeah.
Us in here we're not going to win at that game.
No.
So you come in Wednesday, and be
Wednesday?
like, hey, look at everything that happened. Oh, Noodles, you're the best.
Yep.
See you, buddies. Thursday. A couple more things have happened, but boy, now you can really feel things sitting down. I can't believe McDavid's a New York Ranger. That's amazing. But now it's probably going to get real quiet. Hey, Dregs, what do you think about Manhattan McDavid? You love it. See you, buddies. And then Friday, I know we talked about but that's going to be a pre-taped deal, right?
Pre-taped, yep.
So probably no show Friday.
No show Friday. We've got it then. Wednesday, Thursday.
Which is kind of what we were planning, I think.
And if anything happens, I think we'll be able to.
Oh, we can jump in.
we can jump in.
Whenever, right?
Yep.
If the Flames get McDavid, we can go live at any time. The headroom on this shot is horrendous.
Yeah, I could probably go down a little bit.
This isn't the usual,
Right? You want to tilt the camera down a little?
but this isn't the usual.
No, it's usually Rhett and.
So you moved it, right?
I moved it to face both of you.
It's kind of locked. Yeah, you got to. It's not gonna
Don't
be.
break it.
Thing's just gonna tip and hit the ground.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Happy Canada Canada Day, Dean.
Happy Canada Day. You know what? I have a hard time saying Canada Day. There's a couple, and then Canada. I struggle with it. As a professional announcer, it's one of the things that has locked me up over the years. I have to really slow down and enunciate. It's another one.
Enunciate.
Enunciate. Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. Canada Day. It almost sounds unnatural when I say it like that, but that's kind of almost how I have to say it. How are there so many people watching? All right. Listen, we appreciate you. That you care at all if we're doing shows means a great deal. Thanks to our sponsors. Watch the draft tonight. The boys will be on it. They will be well schooled. Pike at the Dome, Kent Wilson, and Mike Gould here in studio along with Jack. I had plans on going. I thought going to see the new F1 movie. It's kind of on the. Forgot about the stuff tonight.
Yeah, go do that. We can get you in. We'll be going all night. So
certainly, there's got to be enough of me, right?
I don't think there's ever enough of you.
Too much. It's too much. Kind of a sucker for Mike Gould, though. I don't know what it is.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
That was so funny yesterday. He was so excited to come on. First time on the show.
It's my first time on the show. Thanks, Mike.
See ya.
We'll see you later. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, we're doing the. Are we playing this?
Yeah, we got it. Hit the button.
Oh boy, we may not have noodles next week.
No, that changes everything.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it out.
See you, buddies.
It's like Fuck Friday, you fucking loser. It's like Fuck Friday. It's like Fuck Friday, you fucking loser. It's like Fuck Friday. It's like Fuck Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Fuck Friday.